So I'm pleased to be joined with Elenee and Jaylene Johnson, and you guys are part of a new program that's starting called Canadian Christian Artist Accelerator. We're going to be kind of diving into what that is, why you started that, things like that. So yeah, I guess if someone hears Canadian Christian Artist Accelerator, what is that?
Go ahead, Elenee.
Well, it's really just Jaylene and I put our minds together, and we both had this vision for wanting to grow artists in Canada. Myself, having been a recipient of accelerators in the past, whether it was for music or for my business here in Lloydminster on the prairies. And so I've found that it's just a really great, like, expedited learning experience. You get so much information, you get to really hone into a specific subject matter. And I thought, I feel like there should be something specifically to Canadian Christian artists, because there is so much out there, but not all of it is available for Christian artists. Like, I'm not saying that we, don't get these opportunities, but they're just not there as prominently as you would find for mainstream music, for example. So I thought, if I can get, the people in my network and then collaborate with Jaylene and see, the people in her network, and just find like this literal network of people that are interested in giving some information to artists who might not otherwise get this opportunity, I think it would just be a really great starting point. And this one specifically, we are focusing on brand integrity and marketing, which is the end all be all for music, I think, and doing artists as an entrepreneurial lifestyle. So yeah, what do you want to add to that, Jaylene?
No, I think that's great. I think that the cohort learning model is a really good one, because you get to know people, and our goal is that people will learn about these various aspects of the music industry in a very safe and collaborative and encouraging way. So the goal would be that the presenter will present on the topic, and we've looked for there are actually 5 amazing women that are going to come at branding from a few different angles based on their expertise. And then there will be an opportunity to apply what's learned. And I think that's really great. And then to get some feedback from others as well. Not only that, when you're working with a small group of people on anything, you're bound to build relationships. And so the goal would be, that by the end of it, you have people where you can pick up the phone and call them and get their input or feedback, and share ideas, etc., which is kind of how Elenee and I ended up here too. That's just the beauty of working in music and having some shared goals and interests and sharing our heart for Jesus through music,
Absolutely. And yeah, I'm sure you both can speak to that, just kind of having somebody to bounce ideas off of whether it's like a lyric or a melody or something like that, where it's like, okay, this is kind of what I'm thinking. What are your opinions? And then you can kind of like put your brains together. You can both do that. So maybe Jaylene, can you kind of touch on, yeah, the importance of, like you said, the community, but maybe also just like a mentorship aspect of just like, okay, like you're having instructors come in and they're sharing their knowledge in a different area to help these artists grow.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure Elenee can speak to this as well, as far as being mentored. When I came up in my career, one of the things that I did that was really crucial is I went to a bunch of conferences where I could learn information. And a lot has changed since when I was coming up, but it was so helpful to get that information. And I can honestly say that being there, I mean, this was thousands of dollars. This was a lot of travel. This was all the things. But those things really moved the dial for me as an artistpreneur, if you will. However, going to a conference doesn't have the same personal touch and the personal insight into your life, who you are, what you're trying to do as an artist, as mentorship. And I've had people speak into my life in such profound ways. Like Potter and Clay, my last album, would not have happened without some really key conversations along the way and people who were just willing to pour into me. The reality is that a lot of artists are not going to have thousands of dollars to travel around to every conference, or even all the hours of time to jump onto YouTube, where you can find info, but it's so confusing. So really the goal here is to keep a fairly affordable and accessible course. We're very blessed that we have presenters. These are wonderful professionals, and they're willing to do this for an honorarium, so they will mentor our artists. I would say, though, for Elenee and I and our involvement, we will more be ongoing mentors, obviously still learning ourselves. And hopefully other people will see the same value that we've seen in our lives, you know.
That's so cool.
Anything to add to that, Elenee? I talk a lot.
No, this is great. You hit the nail on the head. It was great. It's perfect.
Okay, so kind of going back to like your specific course, the Canadian Christian Artist Accelerator, kind of who is that for? Is this for somebody who doesn't have much experience in music? Is it just someone that has a dream of becoming an artist?
Go ahead, Elenee.
I was going to say, I think it really speaks to really any artist in any time in their journey. Like for myself, I know I've been doing music. I've been doing music for 10 years, and which is not, it's just a little vapor, I would say. Jaylene, you've been doing music a lot longer. You've been involved in the industry for a lot longer. But I think I can confidently say for both of us that I think we are going to learn a ton from this.
Oh, for sure.
I would say for those who are just starting out or those who are early on in their journey, I think this is going to be crucial to their next steps and really setting the tone for how they approach their artistpreneur. I love that, Jaylene. How they go about, making decisions and honestly, it could make or break their projects. Like if they have good branding and marketing strategy, like who knows what could happen. But like I said before, that opportunity just hasn't been available for artists. So giving them the opportunity to do things right the first time for the early artists, I think would be great. So I guess to answer your question, it's for everybody.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I've been mentoring for a few years now, and one of the things that I tend to share are my mistakes, because there were gaps, right? Things that I didn't know. Even looking back at my last record, I released the whole thing, and some people say maybe a better strategy would have been singles. So who knows? But I agree with Elenee, especially for emerging and artists starting out, it can feel really overwhelming. So we're going to take this piece by piece. Branding is a great way to start. Who are we? What is the story we're trying to tell? And how are we telling that story? Who are we trying to engage? I'm sure you talk about that in radio a lot too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm sure that, that's probably, like super important, like you said, because even just thinking of kind of the world that we live into with like social media, it's kind of like it's all out there. So it's like, okay, how are you branding yourself? How are you marketing yourself? Because you're kind of so accessible to really anybody that can just kind of search you up online or things like that. So I think that'll be kind of a really cool place for them to start and to really get guidance and to get information of how to kind of present themselves in the best way. So let's say somebody's watching or they're listening to this right now and they're like, okay, I'm an artist. I want to participate in this. What does that process look like? Application and cost, time, things like that.
Sure. The application is, we don't have a really direct spot to send people yet. My Instagram has it in my link in my bio.
We could share the link with you if CHVN was willing to post it. We're starting ground up, so there's still a landing page to be done, but that is coming. And please contact Elenee or myself. I'm Jaylene at jaylenejohnson.com, and we're happy to send you the link. Elenee, what is your email that you would share?
Honestly, mine's simple too. hello@elenee.ca.
I love
Easy
that.
to find me. That would probably be the best way. And even, like Jaylene said, if they want to reach out to the station, or to you guys, you can point them in the right direction as well. We'll send you all that information.
Yeah. And it's $120 for this cohort that covers 7 sessions. And the intent of the money is to cover honorariums. This is a not-for-profit scenario. We are not getting rich off this.
And like you said, it's probably, if somebody was to just go to do some other course, it would probably cost them a lot more. So this is going to be a great deal to get that really intensive one-on-one kind of guidance from these instructors as well. So if you guys are looking kind of the future, so like you said, you're kind of starting out. So what are your big dreams? What are your goals to see kind of where this can go in the future?
Elenee?
Oh.
Well, I think to Elenee's point earlier, we were talking about different topics. So this one is focusing on branding. And I think sometimes the market will dictate that too. So we may have artists come to us all with the same questions. And then we go, okay, well, who can help us with that? And then we look at our network, or we, poke some people and say, hey, would you come on and share what you know about that? There may even be some peer-to-peer sharing that happens as well. Artists that have already been through, okay, how do I get playlisted in Spotify, and that kind of thing, who can share. So I think that would be maybe the unique thing about the way we want to approach cohorts compared to some of the other programs, which there are other programs and they're very, very good. And I would say for us, though, it really will be about targeting for those key skills. I should also say, I don't know if we've said yet, it's Thursday night and run for 7 weeks. So if you can make a commitment to that, then yes, please join us.
And I'm assuming it's all like online through like a video chat or
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be virtual. Yeah, to Jaylene's point, I think when we had first started coming together to put our brains together and figure out what we were gonna all do, we had a long list of like a laundry list of items that we wanted to cover. It was everything from business finances to
Yes.
entertainment law to, social media, marketing, and all these things. And we even had like videographers and photographers on there just to give, some insight to these artists. But I think her and I decided like the best way to do this is to not give everyone, a high level, just, 30 to 35-minute presentation on one topic. And then be like, okay, see you. Hope that helps, but to really deep dive into one specific corner of artistry. And, that way you're allowing people to, if this cohort was really helpful for me, it's something that I want to, get into again and say, I learned so much about marketing. Now you guys are doing like business literacy. Oh my gosh, I need help. Same, people can be a part of another cohort, and still get so much information from it. So we just wanted to give it that longevity, that lifespan for artists to not feel like it's a one and done situation.
Totally. We are limiting numbers. We want to keep conversations accessible for everybody. Sometimes when the numbers get too big, it's hard to share and have that personal connection. I believe we have 8 spots left. Is that right, Elenee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So people better get on it if they're watching or listening to this right now, if they're interested.
Yes.
And I think this is going to be something really cool because, it's going to be a cool place to see kind of the people that come from it, the skills that they take, and that they're going to be able to share with other people in the future as well, right? Just as they're kind of going in their own music journey. So I just want to say thank you so much for sharing about this and sharing your hearts about this. And it's going to be, exciting to see kind of where you guys go from here.
Thanks,
Thank
Angela.
you.
I appreciate your support.
I appreciate CHVN very much. You guys are awesome. And thank you for taking the time.